More like Matt's Fun Time Band movie show.
There were some movies, terrible movies, movies so awful, no one would touch. Then came a Matthew, sad little Matthew. Matthew decided these movies to watch. For every good movie, there's at least 10 bad. Matthew gonna drag himself through the crap to find the worst ones there are to be had.
Today's episode, Snuff. Hello Internet, I'm called Matt, and you already know I love a movie with a good story behind it. Doubly so if that movie itself is really goofy. Now, today's film might have a bit of a dark story behind it, but don't you worry, it's goofy as fuck. So a lot of exploitation movies in the 70s and 80s pretended to have real murders in them, either explicitly in the film, through marketing, or just through the good old-fashioned rumor mill. Unsurprisingly, a lot of those movies got banned. I mean, they were claiming they were made illegally. Of course they're gonna get banned. Now, none of them were. To date, there is no evidence that such a film existed, at least that was made publicly available. So, why did so many people think they were? The answer to that question involves a man named Charles Manson. Now, I've briefly covered the exploits of the Manson family before, but for as wild as the real-life Manson family was, the Manson family that existed in the minds of the American public were even wilder. Myths, rumors, and straight-up disinformation about the Manson family abounded, the way they tend to around something so eclectic and mysterious. Of course, a bunch of unofficial and inaccurate tell-all books were written, but the one we need to point to is Ed Sanders' The Family, a book so accurate, it's had to be revised twice due to libel lawsuits. The book alleged that some of the murders committed by the family were filmed for brutality or snuff films, and this is widely considered to be the birth of the myth of the snuff film. So now there was a myth in the mind of the American public. Soon it was believed that there was an underground market of real murders filmed for our amusement, and if you know the right people and had the money, you too could own one. This was complete bullshit, it didn't happen. But let's say you're an exploitation producer. You'll say anything, no matter how controversial, to drum up publicity. In fact, the more controversial the better. And you know there's a bunch of people who think movies of real murders are a thing. Of course, you're not actually gonna kill anyone, that's way over the line. But you could just pretend they did. The big names in this genre were Cannibal Holocaust and Faces of Death, but one name beat them all to the punch, a film called Snuff. Snuff began life in 1972 as an Argentinian film called The Slaughter. It'll become clear as we watch this that it was clearly based on the Manson family. The film was made by exploitation filmmaker Michael Findlay and starred a bunch of mostly unknown Argentinian actors. Some sources state that the Findlay's film received an extremely limited theatrical release, while others indicate it was never screened theatrically at all in this form. So the film gets shelved for a few years before American distributor Alan Shackleton decided to release it as an alleged snuff film. This version, made without the knowledge of the original Argentinian filmmakers, played up its mysterious South American origin, and added a few new scenes to make it seem legit. Well, he tried to make it seem legit, but as we're about to see, it did not work. All he succeeded in doing was making a weird film even weirder. This is Snuff. Also, before we begin, here's a funny joke I did about the movie. Please laugh. Anyways, we start with women on motorcycles, everyone's favorite. These girls here are supposed to be stoned out of their minds, I think, but this girl's just smoking a regular cigarette. Now, maybe it's one of those acid cigarettes from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And this girl's doing cocaine. a drug known for making people lethargic. That wouldn't just wake her up. That would make her deaf. So, because she was holding out on them, the other girls chase her down and shoot her. It's here we meet the cult leader, Satan? He's just called Satan, or rather, Satan. Shit, maybe he was the dude in the mask and Satan's little helper. And he's disappointed in his follower, Anna.
The feet!
Oh jeez, maybe this is more like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood than I thought. See, they even got a scene at an airport. This guy comes into the restroom to get his hands wet. Not to wash them, there's no soap, he doesn't even pee, he just gets his hand wet. So, one of Satan's girls throws a switchblade at him, but then when she pulls it out, it's a big ol' buck knife.
Oh, God! Help me! Somebody help me!
Ah, truly the authentic sound of a man being murdered. Who was that guy? Anyways, here we meet Max Marsh, a famous director, and his star, Terry London, who've flown into Argentina to make a film.
Mr. Marsh and Miss London, would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
You know I mind. You know I don't give out any interviews.
Is there any truth to the rumor that you intend to be married here?
We've come here to make a picture, that's all.
And in this new film, will Miss London be following current trends? Will she be doing any nude scenes?
Miss London is under exclusive contract to me.
I don't do interviews, but let me answer those questions for you.
I know I'm going to be sick. I always get sick when it's this hot.
God damn, American dubs just really like to add lines where there clearly are none. It's like they're afraid we're gonna forget this film's in English. So Terry calls her friend in Argentina and sets up a date. Never thought I'd say this, but can we get back to the Manson family? Oh, here we go. This topless girl is begging Satan to let her live in the big house with him, but he says she's not ready. I gotta say, I don't get the appeal. Not that he's not attractive, though honestly, he looks like someone who'd review games for Normal Boots back in the day. But he has one of the flattest personalities ever. This guy is our Manson stand-in? Like, Manson was not a looker. This guy is way hotter than Manson, but Manson was dynamic. I get it. I get why people bought into this. This guy couldn't convince me to buy him an ice cream cone, let alone kill for him.
No one can be with me always. You do not know yet the way we live.
The guy dubbing him makes it a little better, but his slightly enthusiastic performance does not match his completely static face. But he gets women naked, and that's all we can hope for in these movies. Meanwhile, Terry is kissing her date's eyes. Is this a cultural thing? Do they kiss eyes in Argentina?
This Maximilian Marsh, all he does is sex pictures. All he's interested in is big bosoms.
That's what the public pays to see, including my own.
Says the only woman in this film whose big bosoms we never see? Also, why would you bother going all the way to Argentina if all you're making is a cheap sex picture? Full Moon could do that at the local bowling alley. Note to self, review sorority babes at the Slimeball Bowlerama. Then we get this weird scene.
I'm sorry, Max.
Okay, we'll try it once more. After the carnival.
Try what again? Filming? It doesn't look like you're filming anything. And this out-of-nowhere carnival feels like it's interrupting them. It's just a weird moment. Also, we get like 2 seconds of blackface at this carnival. And I know what you're all wondering, and yes, this carnival is just padding for this barely hour and 20-minute movie. And remember, the last 10 minutes weren't even part of this movie. Fucking finally we get one of Satan's girls killing Max. And Terry's being interviewed by, the police, I think? But it looks like someone just opened the back door to the prop department and set up a desk. What were they going for here? Is this supposed to be a police station?
We find nothing suspicious.
I find this set suspicious. And Terry gets so bored with all the fucking padding, she starts playing solitaire. The, I guess, important piece of information in this scene is that Terry's boyfriend, Frank's dad, owns a gun company. I say this is kind of important because it sort of sets up motivation for the Manson hippie people to kill him later, but they're a crazy cult. They don't need a reason to kill him. But then for some reason they start talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict.
You are shocked by German machine guns killing Jews in this day and age, are you? Is that any worse than German guns killing Arabs?
Nope, not going there. This video is already way past demonetized. Oh, and Frank's ex is there getting her things with Satan. I guess she's part of Satan's cult now? Missed that part. Would have been more interesting to see that than the 10 minutes of carnival footage you gave us. Gotta love that knockoff Steppenwolf music. It's like they heard Easy Rider was Manson's favorite movie and just went, fuck it, make random scenes from our movie look like Easy Rider.
Susanna! Carmela! They're gone. But they'll be back.
What? But they are. They're right there. And for some reason the scene is blue? Like, filmed in black and white, then tinted blue? It almost seems like when old kung fu movies would make a scene black and white because it was too violent, but this isn't even a violent scene. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is the scene of Frank's ex becoming one of Satan's girls. So, maybe this should have been earlier? Like, before they were together? And then the girls do their most diabolical deed yet. Dropping someone's groceries on the ground.
You better do what we want, without any complaints.
Why should we?
Well, maybe because of the gun she just pointed at you. Kind of seems like maybe the actress wasn't supposed to pull that out that fast.
I don't think we need a gun for this one.
She says, and then they use their guns? Was this dubbed by Dingo Pictures? Did you even watch the movie?
I would often think of that day years ago when my father had gone to town. Something happened that changed my feelings entirely. I lost my turtle in the tall grass and was looking for it.
Jeez, run while you can, little guy. Turtles don't fare well in these video nasties.
Tortuga mine, don't you have anything to say?
Cowabunga? Dude, at some point you're just fondling the cow. So this flashback is mostly about how Angela, that's Frank's ex, was forced into sex by her father's boss, and is it weird to say Snuff does a better job at handling rape than any of the 4 other movies I've looked at this year with rape in them? Like, it's not just a gross thing that happens, it's actually building up a character's story. In fact, it's the only character development we get in the entire movie. That doesn't stop Snuff from still being weird and awkward, though.
Pig! Filthiest of all animals, I will cut your heart from your body and feed it to the dogs!
What? Where did he get that gun? And that line delivery? Excelente. Another thing I'm gonna complain about is her brother killing the farmer. Rape revenge is such a cliche and kind of a disgusting one. Like, you're introducing one of the most horrific things a person can experience just to justify a little violence. Listen, man, you'll never have to justify violence to me. I am always down for it. But if you're gonna do rape revenge, I think it's much more appropriate to let the actual victim of rape do the revenge. It's really obnoxious to turn a woman's problem into a man's motivation, especially in this movie. You're giving us a murderer's backstory. Let her do the killing.
What would you do If this Luis were here now...
I'd chop him into a million pieces.
So show her doing that! Jeez!
The time has come for you, my girls, to kill them all. The time has come for slaughter.
Not anymore. Now it's time for Snuff. Indeed, old chap.
You don't mind her then having an affair with me.
Not with you, not with any other man. And believe me, there's been a lot of men. Do I mind it? On the contrary, it provides me with my main amusement.
Being a cuck? And who is this guy? Is this Terry's husband? I mean, they seem to have an open relationship, but maybe you could introduce that before the 1 hour mark? So they walk into this maze of walls? I don't know what this is, but I know there probably shouldn't be a bed in it.
Oh, Miss Angelica, it must be 6 months since we've seen you.
6 months? You saw her like 2 scenes ago. Was there a huge time jump somewhere someone forgot to tell us about? This movie raises more questions than it ever answers. Anyways, he lets them in, and wouldn't you know it, they kill him. Oh, don't kill the butler. The bourgeoisie swine, sure, but not the butler. And Terry's husband tries to sneak a peek at her getting fucked, so yes, he is a cuck confirmed. But the girls are there, and they're ready to kill. They stab Terry and her husband and tie up Frank for some of that kinky stuff. Angela and another girl go upstairs to Frank's dad and his wife, who looks a lot like Terry.
You're scaring the hell out of Terry!
Wait, that is Terry? Who was that with Frank then? So, I'm actually pretty sure this woman is not Terry, but it's hard to figure that out on your first viewing because this woman comes out of nowhere, has the same hair color as Terry, and every female in this movie is dubbed by the same woman. They all have the same voice. So, there's little to no indication that this character is not Terry. They don't even give this character a name. And fuck if I know why Terry's in bed with Frank's dad while Frank is having sex with another woman. And we're still in the slaughter portion of the film. It's about to get way weirder. They shoot Frank Sr., stab Terry again, and cut to a film set. That's right, these fuckers just went holy mountain on us.
That was dynamite. That was a gory scene.
No, it wasn't. It was the least gory scene in the movie. They shot him and there was no blood, which is weird because the slaughter didn't have any problem showing blood before that. But in case you didn't notice, this part was not filmed in Argentina. This part was filmed in New York. I'll give them credit, they did a great job making this set look like the one from the slaughter, and they were even smart enough not to show Angela's face since they didn't have the same actress. So this entire scene is just the film crew holding down a girl and killing her on film. This is the part that's supposed to convince us this movie is a genuine snuff film. Looks real, I believe it. Why are there shots of the camera? This is supposed to be documentary style, right? Yeah, and this looks really fake. He pulls her guts out and they run out of film.
Shit, we ran out of film. Shit.
Did you get it? Did you get it all?
Yeah, we got it all. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie. They don't resolve the plot to the slaughter. What happens to Satan and his girls? Do they escape? Do they go to jail? What happens to them? We'll never know. Thanks to this film, the ending of The Slaughter is now considered lost media. And that's Snuff. I love it so much. This is the film you put on when you're 16, you're having a sleepover, your parents just went to bed, and you go, you guys want to see something sick? It's just the right amount of sleaze to make you feel naughty for watching it, almost doubly so thanks to its claims of being a real snuff film. But unlike similar films like Cannibal Holocaust or Faces of Death, it's so obviously fake. The acting's bad, the effects are bad, but being bad is what makes this movie palpable. It's silly, naughty fun. It does drag a bit in places, and the characters get all jumbled up right at the end for no reason, but I still kind of enjoy it. And now a hilarious sketch where I call cut and then kill myself in real life.
Cut.
Oh, here it is.
Nah, we're not doing that bit. First off, it's too obvious. But second off, I barely want to put forth the effort to put you and me in a frame together, let alone have me and you engaged in some action together. No, if you're gonna do that bit, you need to call someone else in to do it.
I don't want to bring someone else in. It's not a bit worth bringing someone else in, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
Then just plug another video and wrap up here.
Ugh. If you like this video, check out my history of the video nasties, and until next time, haha, I'll kill myself!
No, don't. Oh, God damn it. Ah, jeez. Oh, and now we're out of space on the SD card.
Did you at least get the part where I stabbed myself?
Yeah, I got it.
Alright, let's clean up and get out of here.
Satan! Oh, please stop! Satan!
That's enough. Let her up.
So wait, is this part canon? 'Cause, like, it's supposed to be real life, but there's two of me, and there's not two of me in real life.
I try not to think too much about it.
Well, I know that's not true, because you're me, and I think about these things way too much.
Oh shit, you're right! Who am I?